Okay, and we are live once again. Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020, and I want to welcome everyone back to our Facebook page. My name is Michael Quedal, Digital Marketing Specialist for the New Jersey School Boards Association. And as you can see, we are coming at you remotely through the power of Cisco WebEx, trying our best to always flatten the curve and practice social distancing. NJSBA has been hosting Facebook Live events to address questions from boards, school administrators, and educators throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. If you want a replay of any of the previous broadcasts or Facebook Live sessions, click the videos tab on the left-hand side of the Facebook page. That's where you'll see all of our videos and past broadcasts. And make sure you click that like button so you can be notified when we go live in the future. This week's Facebook Live events include some of the following. Today, we welcome John Henry back in his Wednesday morning spot with representatives from the New Jersey Clean Energy Program. We're going to be learning a little about what can be done virtually to reduce energy costs for school facilities, and we'll also discuss what can be done at home with student involvement as well. So definitely stick around for that. Thursday, May 21st, we're going to welcome Terry Lewis, one of our amazing field service representatives, back to the program tomorrow at 10 a.m. She's going to give an update from the field and answering some of the hot questions and topics that our field service department is hearing from our membership. And then Friday, May 22nd, Alicia will be back in her weekly 1 p.m. spot to talk a little bit more about wellness. Today, we are encouraging participation from you, the viewer. We will be monitoring the comment section during and after the broadcast. So if you have a question or comment or just want to say hi and where you're from, drop it in the comment section below. We're also going to be referring to a couple of landing pages from our presenters, and I'll be posting everything in the comment section as we move forward. So whether you're a school board member, administrator, teacher, or even a parent, we are here to serve you and help you work through this difficult time. And I say this on every single broadcast we do, and I think it's definitely the most important thing. I hope everyone and their families are healthy and doing okay during this time. So without further ado, I proudly welcome NJSBA's iSTEAM and Sustainable School Specialist, John Henry, to the program this morning. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Doing great. Cannot believe it's May 20th, but time's flying.
Time is flying, yes, but I am excited to have our guest from the New Jersey Clean Energy Program. And the Clean Energy Program has been around for quite some time. And I am hopeful that a lot of schools are taking advantage of it, but we'll see. So I just want to go around and introduce our guests. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So if you could, Gary.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is safe and doing well, and we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel with any luck. I represent the New Jersey Clean Energy Program. I cover the commercial, industrial, and which is public and private sectors in southern New Jersey. Although I've worked with the Board of Public Utilities, and in that role years ago, I covered the entire state of New Jersey. So I know many of the school districts. I've been in there in the past, and I'm excited to be able to talk about what we can do with the programs now to help schools as we start to emerge through this little crisis that we're having.
Great, thank you, Gary. And I really hope that schools will take advantage of some of the great programs and incentives that you all will share today. I think this is a great time for them to be paying attention to sustainability and to look into save and conserve energy and other things for that matter, which when it comes and it relates to sustainability. So I'm really hoping that people pay attention really carefully to this one. This is an exciting topic. So Kim, if you would.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Hoff. I'm a senior marketing account manager with the Clean Energy Program, and I primarily handle the outreach for the residential energy efficiency program. So happy to be here. Thanks for inviting us, John.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Kim. And last but not least, Hap.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Hap Haven, and I'm an outreach coordinator in South Jersey. We have actually 5 coordinators for the whole state that deal with the residential side of clean energy. I'm very happy to be here today, and I'll be talking about what you can do in your individual homes.
Thank you, Hap. I appreciate that. So before we jump in, I just want to just a little history of New Jersey School Board We jumped into looking at sustainable schools around 2012, and our primary goals back then were to provide healthier learning environments at lower operating costs. And we did that in a variety of ways. And one of the things that we do is a variety of training for school board members, for superintendents, for facility directors, students, staff members, teachers, you name it. Everybody, because we look at sustainability as a collaborative effort. It isn't just one person or a group of people in the school that really are focusing on sustainabilizing the school. It really takes an effort and a collaborative effort within the school district. So as looking at policy, strategic planning, board goals, curriculum, connecting the curriculum, if you will, to the building itself. So there's many things that we've been doing over the past several years. And one of the things that I think we do quite well is collaborate with other organizations. We, of course, do not have all the resources and answers. So we get together with a lot of other folks in the state who do some great work here. So I think we are leading the way, if not, in the country in terms of sustainability. There's a few other states that are doing a great job too. Everybody's doing their thing. But in terms of collaboration and really making a difference when it comes to sustainability, I think New Jersey is really, really out there. So let's just jump right into it because I think if people don't know what the Clean Energy Program is, and Kim, if you would, please tell us what the New Jersey Clean Energy Program is, what it does.
Yes, absolutely. So New Jersey's Clean Energy Program is a statewide program that provides financial incentives and services for New Jersey residents, business owners, and local governments, municipalities. So in this case, also schools, as we were just talking about. The goal is to help save energy, money, and the environment. The program is overseen by the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, and the way it's funded is through a societal benefits charge on your electric and gas bills. So this would be for residents that are consumers of the investor-owned utilities in the state of New Jersey, as well as businesses and schools. On the residential side, there are 4 programs. One is for existing homes, and that's called Home Performance with Energy Star. That's a comprehensive program. We also offer rebates for the purchase of Energy Star certified appliances. There's also a program for the replacement of heating and cooling equipment. And then there is another program for new construction. So if you're building a new home that's either Energy Star certified or deemed as zero energy ready, which is like the highest, certified home, and especially if it's including solar. And new construction also involves rehab. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that there are also programs for residents in need. So there's something called a Comfort Partners program. It's an income eligible program. It's free to the resident. And also there are state and federally funded programs for those in need. It's just important to mention. On the commercial and industrial side, we grants for small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses. It just runs the gamut, and including, as we mentioned, local governments, which includes our schools. And Gary Finger will go into that a little bit more. So you're probably asking, okay, so why are these programs important for schools and residents and people in homes? It's more than just saving energy and money. That we all agree that's a great benefit. It also improves the environment. But it's important to note that these programs also address comfort issues as well as health and safety in the dwellings, whether it's a business, whether it's a school, whether it's your home. So and that often gets overlooked when we're talking about energy efficiency programs. So we just want to, bring home the fact that these programs are there, especially now in this climate we're in, to help address the health, the safety, the comfort, and make sure all of your dwellings that you're breathing in clean and have good indoor air quality. So, and then the lower utility bills is just an added benefit.
That's great. Thanks, Kim. And so, a lot of people do overlook those comfort issues when they're looking at energy efficiency. We're looking at saving money, but overall sustainability is, so we have a future, right? We do these measures and these incentives um, to really get to a place that we, have a comfort level, like you mentioned, in your home, to save money, to divert that to schools, because that money into the savings that we, from the energy conservation measures to school improvement. But really great point that you brought up about the comfort of that too. It's much, sustainability is much more than just energy savings. It's really a comprehensive um, measures that really are going to ensure that we have a future. That's how I see it anyway. So Gary, so if you could tell us about, the programs for schools and the benefits for schools.
Happy to, John. I was glad Kim actually brought up the idea of comfort, because we're looking at some of our programs now that are available, which I'll talk about, as to how the comfort level now was becoming more of a factor. And we're talking about how HVAC obviously is playing a role in air circulation, filtration systems, and even lighting, that have the right quality of lighting in place, which will be a benefit in a learning environment. So that's all those factors are, I think, going to come into light a little bit more. So as Kim alluded, I mean, we have programs that are designed from anything from doing a simple rebate program, which we affectionately call Smart Start, which covers individual measures, anything from the lighting or HVAC all the way up to the large antiquated boilers that might be in place for the last 50 years. We have money for all of those programs. We love to see package programs when we can put them in place. And by that, I mean, if we have an idea that a facility has the requirements to fit under a certain package program, such as our direct install program, which requires a 200 kW demand load or less than that. And quite frankly, that covers an awful lot of elementary school buildings. So it's a smaller building, the demand load is going to be a little less. Well, that's great. That kind of a program in place, we're looking at doing more of a project-related cost measure. So meaning the state will cover historically up to 70% of that cost. Right now, with school districts, we're covering up to 80%. That is project cost. That is done through assigned contractors. And I just had this conversation yesterday with the school district that wanted proof that they didn't have to go out for an RFP. Fine, we have that documentation. The contractors for that program have already been vetted. So, the richness of these programs, even under Smart Start, we months ago implemented a newer program that the board approved, which allows us to provide bonus money, if you will. We're doubling all the incentives. So whatever we did for lighting a year ago, it's doubled today. Whatever we did for HVAC on an individual basis, it is doubled today. That's a great program, and schools have certainly been taking advantage of that program. If you're larger than an elementary school and high school, obviously high schools fall into this, we have performance contracting, which is we're looking at 200 kW and above, but we're looking at what can we do to reduce your energy consumption by 15%. It's very doable. But before anybody jumps the gun and says, let's go out and do lighting because the numbers are so good, I want to talk about audits, because the state provides through this program a free local government energy audit, which is a ASHRAE level 2 audit, so that we will be able to provide a nice analysis of all the equipment that a facility has on a report that is supplied once the report is completed. We'll go over every measure and say, this is what you're using, this is what your potential savings are, these are the incentives that you can get under that program, and recommended next steps. So a lot of people, when I have these discussions with school districts, they'll say, that's a lot of information. There's a lot of programs. Where do I start? You start with an audit.
Thank you, Gary. And I couldn't agree with you more. I think, the audit is a place to start. At first step, it's about awareness. And once you have an awareness around what's going on in your building, and this, by the way, is in a home or a school building or a commercial building, as you mentioned, is awareness. You need to know where you stand. And these audits are a place to start. So just out of curiosity, do you have a lot of schools actually are participating in the LGEA?
We have always had a lot of participation with the LGEA program because there is a no cost and there's no obligation for this program. We generally try to advocate, you want to get an unbiased third-party review. A lot of school districts, I've done this for 10 years now, they have worked with somebody that they know. That's fine, you're still paying for it. We're providing it at no cost, and we're also giving you the options. So under today's circumstances, you say, well, there's a lot of restrictions in the state as to what we can and cannot do. Quite frankly, we're doing quite a lot with these restrictions. We've had to pivot and respond accordingly. I mentioned the Smart Start program. Our intake right now for applications, we're probably at record levels. We have so many applications coming in that we've actually had to rearrange some personnel to process those applications. What we're doing with audits, because we cannot yet go on to facility sites, we're doing a virtual audit, which is pretty cool. What we're doing is working with a facility manager who will go around and look at the equipment. We're talking to them through the whole process to make sure we can record and capture all the information that we need, having the conversation, because a facility manager knows better than anybody does what's going on in that building. So we can actually do a lot of this work right now. We still require the utility bills. We need 12 months worth of bills. And I know that becomes a daunting process sometimes, but that is a requirement of the program. But my gosh, this is a great way to get started. Let's get into queue. Let's get these applications in. Let's start the virtual audits. Because when you get that report, the next question is going to be, what do we do now? You've just identified $1 million worth of potential project costs. That's great. We're going to talk you through the next step. The next step could be, let's do everything. And I realize money is going to be allocated differently moving forward. I understand that. We have a program in place called an Energy Saving Improvement Program. John, I know you're familiar with it. Many school districts, we've probably done 140 school districts in the state so far. It's a way to do all of these capital improvements, energy-related improvements, without affecting your capital budget. There is no referendum that's required, and the savings are tremendous. And quite frankly, we've had districts that are now in for the second or third time to go forward with these programs. That's how good they are. So when you have no capital outlay and you get to save a lot of money, by the way, this is guaranteed by statute. You must be cash positive or else the program is not approved by the BPU. That makes it a lot more palatable. So you know you're going to be ahead of the game. So this is a way that we can really stretch those dollars for the school. We can put students in an environment that's going to be a lot more proactive for a new learning environment, and the school gets to save a lot of money. So, circling back, where does it start? It starts with make a phone call to me. Let's start talking about an audit and how we can go forward. There's no cost, there's no commitment.
That's great. So you did mention the virtual audits to me a couple of weeks back, and I was really looking forward to you talking about what you're going to be doing with that. That's tremendous. So, and again, this is the perfect time to do this, right? When the kids are not in the school, you can take your time and go through and do the virtual audit. You can identify the savings. And then, by the way, those savings can be put perhaps back into technology that might be needed right now during this situation and beef up that technology infrastructure. So, I just see this as a win-win situation. And you mentioned there's 140 schools or plus, districts that are involved in this, but that's still, we have over 580 plus districts in the state. So there's still quite a few districts that I would hope, and we encourage to really take advantage of these programs. So
And I would also say too that, even with some of the smaller districts, in so much as maybe we're not going to do an audit, they can still move forward with either the Smart Start program on individual rebates or the direct install program. And our contractors for direct install are going to do the exact same thing. They will do a virtual assessment to get the process started. And as soon as the restrictions are eased a little bit, they'll be able to get in and get this work done without students being there, so that they can open up the school year with whatever upgrades were required.
Yeah, that's great. Schools are the epicenter for sustainability. So what the school does, they become a model for what the town can do in the community. And hopefully if they integrate this with the learning environment, the curriculum and other activities that the students can do, they will take those things home. But that being said, I know that HAP is going to talk about some programs that we're going to talk about for residential. So HAP, could you tell us a little bit, give us an idea of what people can do to conserve energy at home?
Okay, thanks a lot, John. The first thing is I want to talk directly to the people out there living in homes. It's like Gary gave us a great overview for the physical plants of the schools, but everyone that's on this phone call, whether you're an administrator or a student, lives in a home, and we've got programs for you. It's really this simple. It's like we've got programs to handle the small appliances, the big appliances, the whole house, and even new construction. Okay. And the thing that we're really at a loss for nowadays is we have the ability to create zero energy homes, and we're not doing it. We're just not doing it. And hopefully today I'm going to flesh out some of these details for you in your home. So, I don't know, John, should I start with the Energy Star audit there for you? I think so. So what we'll do is we'll start with the Energy Star audit, okay? Because this is a great in-home process for family and students to do, as a project, okay? And what we want you to do is, or this is my suggestion for you, is that you go online to the Energy Star website. We have the link for you in the comment sections, okay? And look at something called the Energy Star Yardstick. You can also just Google it, Energy Star Yardstick. Okay, and the Energy Star Yardstick is a way of doing a very simple audit. And this goes right back to what Gary was saying, is like we can't make decisions unless we know what's in place right now. And the Energy Star Yardstick is a real simple way of getting you to get a score on your house. The score is between 1 and 10. 10 basically is you're living in a fantastically tight, well-insulated, energy-efficient house. And number 1 is you're living in a barn. So what we want you to do is go on, online and figure out where you are. And in order to do that, what you're going to have to do is have some simple information. Okay, it's like you're going to need to have the square footage of your house. Yeah, actually, it's funny. I'm looking at Gary here. It's like, Gary said the facility manager. You're the facility manager. The homeowner is the facility manager, or the student can be the facility manager. And that is, you need to find out the square footage of your house. You need to get your utility bills, okay, and know how many BTUs. Well, let's say kilowatts of electricity and BTUs of gas or oil or whatever fuel you use to heat the house with. Okay, and plug that into the yardstick, and you're going to get a score. Okay, and then what's going to happen is after you get your score, okay, you can create an account with the yardstick. Okay, and I see Mike's brought up the page there. You're looking at what you'd see on the on the internet, and you can either create an account and track your projects through to completion, or you can just skip straight to the project page because they have lots and lots of different projects that you might consider being done. And these are great projects that you can do with the student in your house, so that you can actually learn something and have a basically have an educational experience with your student. So
Yeah, that's great. So Hap, once we usually have like a design challenge once a week, not always once a week, and this week's was going to be doing a home energy audit, but I see no need to do that because this energy yardstick is actually just that. And I'm really glad that you brought up that, the parents and the family homeowners, they're the facility directors in this case, can do this with their students and with their children and actually teach them what these items are based on this yardstick. So this is really great information. Thank you.
Oh, it's tremendous, John. That I really hope that the students drill down in onto this. You're seeing a copy of the page, the projects page. They've got quick projects and also more in-depth projects for you to do. And let me just say something that we're still building houses like we're in 1959, and contractors are still out there performing work as if they're in 1959. You know what contractors say to me all the time is, "Oh, trust me." But the fact is that, no contractor should ever say that. It's like what they should be able to do is show me. So let me just say this, that New Jersey is the Garden State, right? And Pennsylvania is the Keystone State. Hey, John, do you know what Missouri is?
Show me state.
You got it, 100%, right on the money. It's the show me state. And it's like, and I don't want any of the homeowners, or students on the line right now to ever go, oh yeah, and just assume that the contractor knows what they're doing. You should be able to say to them, show me. Okay, because that's what home performance is all about. It's totally about identifying the problem. This is a science equation, right, John? It's like, show me the problem,
absolutely,
make a hypothesis, right? And demonstrate that the job got done. It's like we can show you what all that. So that's home performance has the tools to do just that.
And I'm glad you brought that up too. We are still building houses since we were building them in 1950. However, that being said, there has been a lot of progress with the green building industry. In fact, the U.S. Green Building Council, New Jersey chapter, USGBC national, they have a lot of resources. They have what's called LEED, the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. They have building standards for green buildings. And 10 years ago or so, it might not have been a case like you had to pay a little bit more money to be a green building, but that's not the case now because of design and the way that they engineer it. They usually get all the contractors and the designers and everybody who's part of the project and called what's an eco charrette. So everybody knows what's going on right up front, and their cost savings is unbelievable. So, and schools have been built, have been renovated with green building standards. There are other nation, but that's the one I'm the most familiar with. So we have benchmarks that we could use to actually renovate, build new, alter, you name it, with the green building standards. And I'm hopefully that people out there, contractors, will take advantage of that and learn as much as they can.
And we need the individuals in this state to demand it, right? Because it's possible. They've been building zero energy homes all around the world for a very long time. In this state, we build about 20,000 homes every year, and about 4,000 of those currently are Energy Star certified. And Energy Star is like the lowest level certification for homes, okay, that you might even closely consider green, right? And there's several certifications, above that. And of those 4,000 homes, we only have, and I can count them on one hand right there, only about 5 every year that are done that are zero energy or zero energy ready. So people have to know what's out there. I hope everyone's listening to what you said there, because we've got standards. They've been in place. It's just so often the builders are not taking advantage of it.
Right. And I really hope that changes and changes quickly, because people could be taking advantage of it. It's better for, our carbon emissions. It's better for our environment. It could save money. Their health. And in our case with schools, it's healthier learning environments with lighting and indoor environmental air quality being improved. It's just, I would hope that someday we really take advantage of this in a bigger way than we are already. And by the way, I just wanted to add to this. So about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, we concluded a project called the Green Program of Study, and it was in 3 pathways. It was done in conjunction with it was actually a Department of Education grant. There was a lot of other organizations involved in it, and it was curriculum in green design, energy, and construction. And that curriculum we still have. So if schools really want to take advantage of that, it's a little bit older curriculum, but it really was focused on green collar careers. It was done in a problem-based learning and project-based learning format. And it had those 3 pathways, which really were, it was geared more towards vocational schools, but comprehensive high schools could easily adopt that as well. So just wanted to just keep that in mind, that that curriculum still resides and is around and available if schools wanted to actually take a look at that. So,
John, I've seen that curriculum. It's great. It's really great because I've worked with the VOTEC schools, but let me just wrap up today with maybe a deeper dive for the people who are on the phone. If you have students, or maybe as a homeowner you want to do this yourself, learn more about home performance, there is a organization, okay, called the Building Performance Institute. It's the National Certifying Institute, okay, for this industry, the home performance industry, okay, and they have an entry-level certification that's perfect for students, okay. It's called Building Science Principles, and I know I've given Michael a link to that as well. So I encourage students or teachers, or parents to look at this, because building science is the future. I mean, we really have to be able to do things correctly. So check it out. There, Michael just brought it up. Thank you so much for that, and thank you, John, for the opportunity to talk today.
oh, thank you, Hap. I appreciate the information. This is really good stuff, and I'm glad you brought up the Building Science Principles certificate. It's really good to know that students can do this at home, right? Vocational schools, they can do this at home. So yeah, and building science is important. We always talk about integrative STEM and STEAM. Well, if you look at the building science, there's a lot of topics that goes into that. And hopefully, in the future that students will or can potentially go into these fields, and knowing the building science can actually build better homes for all the people that they're building them for. So this is great. So does anybody else have any final words or comments before we wrap up today? Gary or Tim?
I just encourage anybody who is considering doing anything with their facilities. They've got old buildings, they're not sure what they have. Just give me a phone call or send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to have that conversation to see what is the appropriate next step. I'm certainly very sensitive to the dollars that are involved in not just the projects, but the limitations that school districts have. So we try to be creative. We know what state programs are. We work with utility companies. There are financing mechanisms through them that actually provide very inexpensive money. We're actually doing work these days with the, believe it or not, the United States Department of Agriculture, who also has monies available that we can work with. In some cases, they are grants. In some other cases, they are guaranteed loans, but they have access to money that's very, very inexpensive. Don't be afraid. Let's just have that first phone call. Is all it takes is to have a conversation. And you can't beat these programs. There's nothing better. They've won so many awards on a national level that we know that these are good programs to work with school districts.
Thank you, Gary. I hope you being on here today and people could listen, and I hope you get some phone calls. Kim, any final parting shots?
Yeah, I just want to, iterate again that the residential energy efficiency programs, they're great. And it's important to note that especially the home performance with Energy Star, the incentives are extremely generous. So I know any type of upgrade in a home, we feel that it's daunting, any type of expense in the home. But that is that program especially is generous. But even if you're replacing heating and cooling equipment, we have some generous incentives. So, and we have account managers available. We are more than happy to talk to you. We're also more than happy, like all of us here, to speak to groups about these programs. So don't hesitate to contact us to do that.
Thank you. It's good for homeowners to know that as well, moving forward. So that about wraps it up. I think that was a lot of information in a short period of time. I don't have any really final comments except for always visit our Steam Tank Facebook page and our iSteam services page, which we have design challenges up there. And last week we did launch our COVID-19 design challenge for anybody who wants to participate, and that challenge can be found on the iSteam services page, and those links can be found in our or at the Steam Tank Facebook page. We have all of those links posted there. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone for being on the call today and providing our listeners some incredible information that hopefully they will take advantage of.
Great. Thank you so much, John. And I just want to echo what you said. Thank you so much for joining the conversation today. Hap, Gary, Kim, we really, really appreciate it. And as always, John, thanks again for your continued iSteam and sustainability lessons every Wednesday right here on our Facebook page at 10 a.m. I just want to reiterate what I said in the beginning of the conversation. Tomorrow we'll be back at 10 a.m. Thursday with Teresa Lewis. Terry Lewis, one of our field service reps. She's going to be giving an update from the field. And then on Friday, Alicia DiLorenzo will be back at 1 p.m. I also want to thank all the listeners live and the recording. Like I said before, we will be monitoring the comment section. So if you have a question or comment or just want to say hi, drop it in the comment section below. And I'll continue to forward it to our experts throughout the week. I want to say this, and I said it, I think last week, we are really appreciative of everyone watching this broadcast. We are really proud about the community that we're seeing continue to grow here. So if you like what you see here today, drop us a like on this video, share us on Facebook. If like I said, if you have a question, drop it in the comment section. It really helps our channel and our content grow. Again, thank you so much for watching today. Future Facebook Live events will be announced on NJSBA.org through School Board Notes and through our Facebook page. So like I said, if you haven't already, click that like button so you can be notified when we do go live in the future. For the latest information, bookmark njsba.org/COVID-19, and I'll put that in the comment section below. That is our landing page. Everything COVID, coronavirus, our resource page is updated daily, an incredible resource page. So again, thank you so much to our presenters and experts today, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their Wednesday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
Be safe, everyone.